Hi, my name is James Robinson, and this is a Robinson Stocks stock pick. The stock pick this week is a company called OFLX, symbol OFLX. This video is the first in my 5-part series on the company OFLX. We'll do one video, this video, which is the overview. Then we'll do one on the company's operations, one on its balance sheet, one on the company's dividends, and finally in the company's propensity to create wealth for the shareholders. I hope you'll watch all 5. OFLX manufactures and sells flexible metal hoses, fittings, and accessories in the United States, Canada, and internationally. It offers flexible gas piping for use in residential and commercial buildings, fittings, containment piping, and corrugated copper tubing for the use in hospitals, ambulatory care centers, dental, physician and veterinary clinics, laboratories, and other facilities. The company sells its products under the Track Pipe CSST, Counter-Strike CSST, Auto-Flare, Double Track, Def Track, Metatrack brand names. It serves various markets including construction, manufacturing, transportation, petrochemical, pharmaceutical, and other industries. The company sells its products through independent sales representatives, distributors, wholesalers, original equipment manufacturers, and direct sales, as well as through its website. The company was formerly known as Toffel America, and it changed its name to OFLX in 1996. OFLX was incorporated in 1975 and is based in Exton, Pennsylvania. All of these numbers are as of April 17th, 2025. This company has a market cap of $302 million. The revenues are $101 million. It has profits of $18 million. The company's PE ratio is 16.4. The company pays a 4.66% dividend yield. The company has total debt of $5 million. It has total cash of $51 million. The company is not part of the S&P 500, and it only has 175 employees. So a few things to notice here. Most of the stocks I'm buying recently tend to be small cap companies. I believe the S&P 500 is very overvalued. The current PE as of today is about 28 times earnings for the S&P 500. Historical S&P 500 PE should be about 18 times earnings. The result of that is that most large companies that I might normally like to buy are overpriced. But since there's so much money chasing those big companies, there's big opportunities in these smaller companies. There's pluses and minuses to buying these smaller companies. Obviously, they're a little bit more susceptible to short-term economics, which is why I place a high premium on very, very low debt and lots of cash. Obviously, a $300 million company with $5 million in debt is irrelevant. The company can pay off its debt in 2 or 3 months worth of income, and the company has $51 million worth of cash to hold it through the slower times should they start to occur. Another interesting thing about this company is it only has 175 employees. So when you have a company that can generate $100 million in revenues with 175 employees, that tells you those employees are being used very effectively. So that's sort of the basic fundamentals of this company. As we talk about in all my videos, I rank companies on a scale of 1 to 4. I do that in 29 categories. 9 of them are in operating, which is how good a job the company does in delivering goods and services to the customer. 10 of them is financial, which is the company's balance sheet and how strong it is, and the likelihood for some significant event to cause the company real financial distress. And the third one is the company's management. And I rate the management on its ability to, over the long term, enrich the shareholders. So are they paying dividends? Are they buying back stock? Are they reducing debt? Are they keeping the right amount of cash, but enough cash on hand? And generally speaking, are they running this business for the benefit of the shareholders? And you can see this company is extremely, extremely highly rated. 4s in almost every category. There are a number of categories where it's a 2, but this is a manufacturing company. And manufacturing companies have real disadvantages over a service company or over a software company, for example, because they have to have some inventory, they have to have some factories, and so some of those categories are sort of in the average. I'm fine with that. I realize that's going to happen, but in general, I've ranked about 1,500 companies. This is the 12th best company I've looked at. It's clearly in the top, 1/10 of 1% of companies, and I'm sorry, the top 1% of companies. And so it's just a very, very, very well-run company. And the management does a great job. It's basically got no debt. The operating is very efficient for a company of this size. So the other thing to think about, just so you have a sense of kind of the research I did in this company makes flexible metal hosing. And that seems like a pretty boring industry, which I like. I like boring companies, but there are some advantages to this. So generally, before the advent of flexible hosing, you would have iron pipe that would carry gas. And the problem with iron pipe, there are several. The first one is it's much more expensive to install. The second one is that you need it's more time consuming to install because the plumber would have to basically build, L-shaped sections and use a bunch of fittings, whereas, use elbows and Y-shaped fittings to connect the various pieces of pipe. This is much more efficient because you can almost go point to point. You can wrap around whatever you need to wrap around because the cable is so flexible. Another thing that's really important about it is in environments where there's earthquakes, flexible metal cabling is much better because it can move as the building shakes without rupturing and causing reduction in gas. The company also does a lot of work with gases where they need to be, you need real control over the substances that are affecting the gas. For example, in a hospital environment where you're bringing gas to the patient, or a veterinary environment. A third thing that they do is they're involved in the transportation of diesel fuels. When you're dealing with diesel fuels, you've got issues with corrosiveness, and without getting too deep in the weeds, these guys have a product that really serves that need. So very small company, very niche company, but they have something that as long as there's construction, you're gonna need to do this. Not just construction, new construction, but tenant improvement work, but also residential. So sensible company, I think it's something you should take a look at. Hopefully you'll watch the other videos where I'll get into the company's good history with dividends, the company's management, operations, etc.